the cultural visa or art and cultural golden visa is one of the routes for the golden visa program. It was not well known because nobody was promoting it, while property investment was the main route to get a golden visa in Portugal. But now that the property was withdrawn from the program, the most popular at the moment of investments is definitely funds investment, but also, and this is very important, the art and cultural heritage golden visa became something that the applicants are interested to know more and even do and consider it as a route of investment. The golden visa was created back at the end of 2012, so 12 years ago. The idea was to bring in some investment to our country. The country was getting out of the financial crisis that all the countries had. Well, the benefits are from the golden visa program itself, meaning with 250,000 euros donation on what we call, I can explain a little bit more, high density areas of Portugal, projects that are located in high density areas of Portugal, or only 200,000 euros in projects that are located in low density areas of Portugal. It's possible to get a resident permit, non-resident by golden visa. It's a resident permit by investment. In this case, it's not really an investment, although it's within the investment program. It's more a donation because there is no return coming out of that. In terms of taxes, the golden visa, as I said previously, doesn't require become a tax resident. So, the taxes will only be paid on when you have revenue located in Portugal. You don't have to become a tax resident. So if you don't want to become a tax resident, you will not be a tax resident in Portugal, meaning you will only pay taxes on the investment that you did. Although, for example, funds investment for a non-tax resident done. So if there is a non-tax resident investing in funds, they will not pay taxes in Portugal, but they will pay in their home countries. If it's a donation, it's a donation. So there is no income, so there is no tax paying. Meaning, golden visa is a good program for those who don't want to become tax resident in Portugal. But if they, let's say, if they do the golden visa program, and in the middle of the program they decide to move and live in Portugal and they decide to become tax residents, they can. But they will have exactly the same taxes that we all have. There is now still a special regime for certain professions, flat rates, like scientists, but it's a very short list of professions that is still out there with special benefits, but only for those. As you know, our country have a long history. We exist since the 12th century. We have a lot of monuments, we have a lot of churches, we have a lot of projects, and we have a lot of people that are focused on art and can really do a difference. But the problem has always been the same, is how to get sponsorship in this country. We have the art is out there, we have the right people, we're just missing enough funds. And now I believe it's the right time, using this program, the Golden Visa program, to bring in investors that are used to support art. You can choose the project, but that project has to be within and sponsored by the foundation that has public interest, because of it has to be, it's like a filter of the projects, and they have to be chosen by these foundations, or even public entities, cultural public entities. The government has to certify that is eligible for the Golden Visa, meaning there is a life attached to this project, that it's not immediate, but it has to exist during at least 5 years. So it's not, we're not talking about only one. It can be different performing arts, for example, but within one big project that has consistency and has length. That's why the government is evolving. So the process is very similar to the other investment routes for the Golden Visa. So what we always, well, within SJF, what we do is always have a first meeting, a first call to know the family, to know the applicants, who are they, what they want to do, and when they choose this path of the Golden Visa and the art investment specifically, what we do is we will introduce an art consultant so that the art consultant can guide and explain better what are the projects that are out there already certified by the government. And after that, if the client is willing to go forward with the Golden Visa application, has to do the donation to the foundation. The minimum amount, as I said, is 250,000 euros if the project is located in high-density areas of Portugal, and there is a map of our country that divides between high density and low density. But if the project is located in low density area, then it reduces 20%, meaning 200,000 euros investment. Once this investment is done, the foundation will give us, I'm talking now on the immigration process. We will have a documentation from the foundation confirming that the money is in and the donation was done, and the government will also certify that that project is eligible for the Golden Visa. Once we have all the documentation, we will be able to proceed with the application, of course, with all the personal documentation of the main applicant and family. So that is exactly the same process as any other of the other investment routes. So we submit then the Golden Visa. So the Portuguese Golden Visa program, first of all, is a European Union country program. That means having access to all European Union countries. At the beginning, the temporary residency, which is what the applicant and the family get at the very beginning, gives them the right to travel within the Schengen area, but only living in Portugal if they want. But 5 years later, in terms of 5 years later of the residency program, they can apply for permanent residency, and with that, being able to live in one of the European Union countries, which is very, very important to them. But also, and besides getting a resident permit, it's possible to apply 5 years later to the citizenship even, to the Portuguese citizenship, which means becoming a European Union citizen. The good thing of being a lawyer and leading and be head of an immigration department means being absolutely updated, always updated with all the information, because all the laws are changing, procedures are changing. But because we are there and working on a daily basis, we can give very updated and accurate information. But besides the immigration side, on the legal side of the process, I also thought that it's because we feel, talking with the clients, that clients need other information or other assistance and supports, like if they're moving to Portugal, they need concierge services, they need someone to help them with the schools and talking about health and issues and how to bring the pet or the animal. There's so many small and big things that are related to moving to another country that people need support. So we presented ourselves as one-stop shop where we can deal and introduce companies, outsourcing companies that are working with us to make sure that the client will have all the support he needs, but with a very, highly professional way. So when I started working with the Golden Visa, my first client, it was 3 weeks. Then, but easily with the change and and increasing of the applicants throughout the world, people knowing more about this program, it became more or less 1 year, the average. But after the pandemic, with all the delays attached to it and lack of staff at the immigration department, it became much more complicated, and we do have an average waiting list of almost 2 years now, which is terrible, I know. Well, thank you very much for this video. I hope we can give, I hope it will be helpful to those who will be able to listen and see us wherever they are in the world, and we are here to give further information if they want to contact us.
Last question, if I decide to start the process with you, will I be speaking to you?
Yes, always. Whoever is the client or prospect client willing to know more, it always starts by a call with me, yes.